Hi everybody, this is Dianne Devitt. Welcome to What's Up with Dianne. Today we're focusing our continuing story in the culinary world. Restaurants, catering, food service, it's an amazing, amazing place to be, and we're all affected by it because what's the one thing that's in common with everything? We love to eat. Anyway, with me today is the dean, and I might say star actor of so many things, but Stephen Zagor, dean of the the Institute for Culinary Education. I'll get it right, Steve?
Easy for you to say. I know that.
Yeah, easy for me to say. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Steve, thanks for being with me today, and thank you for sharing your expertise. You know, there's so much that we learn about people in this industry, and I know you touched a little bit with me before about what influenced you to come in the family in the restaurant business and then working your way in. But tell us a little bit about what led you to ICE, to the Institute, and tell us a little bit about it. Okay.
I had been teaching at NYU for quite a while, and one of my students came up to me after class one day and said, "Steve, did you ever think of teaching any more at other places?" And I said, "From time to time I have." And she said, "Well, my husband works at a place called Peter Kump's," which was what the name of ICE was before it became ICE.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And I said, "Really?" I said, "I never really thought that Peter Kump's was a bona fide school. I thought it was kind of a cooking school. I'd known some people that have gone to Peter Kump's and they could make some great tiramisu and some great cakes and stuff." I said, "Well," so I kind of put that aside. And then I used to read the Sunday ads and business opportunity sections in the Times when there was actually a paper that you read.
Right, exactly.
And I used to talk about them in class. And I looked and there was an ad for the Institute of Culinary Education for a part-time management instructor. So I sent my resume and lo and behold, I got hired.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
And there I am.
Who is this Peter? Who was the name? I'm not familiar with
Peter Kump is one of the great founders of cuisine. It was sort of James Beard and Peter Kump.
Right,
And Peter Kump died quite a number of years ago, but Peter Kump was really one of the first to create cooking as an educational form, as well as. So he started a little school up on 92nd Street above a garage called Peter Kump's Cooking School.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
And the current owner of our school, Rick Smilo, they were having some financial issues, and Peter had become ill, seriously ill, and they were looking for an angel to kind of help them in many levels, and Rick became that angel, loaned them some money, and ultimately, when Peter passed away, Rick bought the school.
Interesting. So tell me a little bit about the school. Like, who teaches at the school, and what is the school most known for right now?
Well, ICE is one of the premier culinary schools in the country. In fact, we were rated #1 culinary in the school in the United States.
Congratulations. Do I stamp that?
You do. We need to have that. Exactly right.
Branded.
Yep. In
What's
fact,
up?
I should be having one of those foam fingers. We're #1.
Exactly,
we're
right,
#1.
exactly.
And to be above the Culinary Institute and FCI and all of those things was a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Exactly right. So we should be all getting foam fingers with the owner's picture.
Really, exactly, with icing on the tip.
Total icing. Exactly right. Exactly right. No nail polish, please.
No.
And the school is great because we're broken down into several divisions. There's our professional division, which is where we hopefully train people that want to become professional in it, whether it's culinary, means cooking. They want to be chefs or owners.
Okay.
Pastry chefs or bakery owners or others. We have the sections that I'm involved with, that I run, is one is we call it culinary management, which is restaurant management. Which is broader than restaurants. It's specialty stores, food stores, catering, retail products, other those things. And then we have our newest division is our hospitality division, which is not what NYU teaches in hospitality. Ours is much more if you want to end up being a front office manager. It's much more, it's not entrepreneurial. It's much more specific to actually taking your old career and going into hotels. In addition, we are the largest recreational cooking school in the world. If you wanted to...
Now tell us a little bit about that. That means that even I can learn how to cook?
You could learn how to make sushi.
Okay.
You could learn the best of your favorite Moroccan cuisine.
Wow.
You could learn how to make one of our most popular classes, gingerbread houses in the holidays.
Oh, fabulous.
Our most popular class is knife skills, which is...
Let me just share a secret with you, with everybody else.
I don't want to see any scars on your fingers.
No, but honestly, I love to cook. And my whole life, I've been struggling with which knife do I use. So sign me up for the next course.
This takes you on the journey of not only which knives, but who makes the best knives, and then how to cut things so that you end up actually cutting things the same way all the time.
Yeah, and you don't have to struggle, like go like this all the time.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
That's good.
And that class has been on
Or you learn how to throw them.
Or you could. We did. It's funny. We had a graduate. We have some very unique students. We have students who have been giant corporate executives who could make enough money to buy most corporations.
Right, yeah.
We have high school graduates.
Ah.
And then we have unusual types. We had one guy whose occupation was a professional knife thrower.
Really?
Yes. He was actually, later on, he was on Shark Tank. With a partner or two, they were going to do a circus-themed cafe at Times Square. They didn't get financing. But,
interesting.
So we do have knife skills to glory.
So the faculty who teach,
our faculty are all experts.
Really, they're experts, and they're very well known, aren't they?
One of the things that gives us really this huge advantage is we're here in New York City.
Right.
And our faculty have not only positions at ICE, but often they're consultants in the industry. Sometimes they're still working in the industry. So it's a terrific group of really people that know the business, and they have to be great teachers because they go through a very, very, very extensive vetting on their ability to not only to cook, but to talk and announce and discuss while they're cooking. And so it's important. So we have we have the best faculty anyway.
I was going to say it's important, and you know, we spoke about the one thing we have in common is that we were involved with New York University as a professor, and I think the same thing with ICE is that the student who comes really gets the benefit of the teacher who's working in the industry at that time. But so before we wrap up, could you just fill us in on how does ICE stay current, for example, with their courses and curriculum based on the trends that are happening, like, a little bit?
We have a board of directors. Every one of the programs has a board of directors. So that's kind of, again, the backstop, because we have a quarterly meeting with our board of directors. And our board of directors are composed of industry executives, well-known chefs. You would know all of their names. People who some have been graduates of our schools, some not. They're people that are on the forefront of the industry. And part of what we do every quarter is we benchmark ourselves against what's going on in the trends in the world.
That's great.
From that alone, let alone what the obvious things, looking at the New York Times, looking at Eater, looking at all the blogs, looking at all the various food publications, seeing what's out there. We're constantly infusing the programs with what's happening to be current.
Yeah, you know, you have to really nowadays. I mean, with social media, you know, you talk about all these onlines that rate you, and you don't know where the rating's coming from. It could be your mother or your aunt, right, or someone who hates you since kindergarten, but you have to pay attention to them.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the one thing that sets where you are apart.
Exactly.
To be that conscious and cognizant of it, that you know this icing is out, but this is what's in. So
exactly. And by the way, New York City is this tremendous melting pot, so people come through here all the time, and we will call them and say, hey, while you're in New York, why don't you come and talk to our students?
True, that's true.
And
you have a visitor.
It gives us this window on the culinary world that is really unique. I keep telling our students, supposing you were in Seattle, which is a great city, don't misunderstand me.
Great
supposing
city.
You were in Omaha, you're not going to get the complexity of people that come through the way New York does.
You know, I think, what was it? I just read, and I'm sure I'll be off with this, but what do we have, like 140 different ethnic, probably more.
And counting.
And counting in New York. But,
I'm sure.
But thanks for sharing that with us today, Steve. I find it so interesting. And thank you, everyone, for being with me and with Stephen Zagor, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Come on by and take